Hi there, this is Darren from Treasure Life Family Farms, and today we are going to build a stand for the nesting box to hang on while it's in the pig enclosure for the winter. And we're going to get the chickens in there probably tomorrow. So today we need to build the stand for the nesting box. So let's go get to work. So what this is going to look like is I'm going to take, let me think about how I had this in mind. Okay, I'm going to take one of these ones that's, I don't know, this thing is probably 4.5 feet tall. This is all 4x6 wood that's left over from 5 years ago when we had the girls were in a room with bunk beds, and we sort of made those bunk beds ourselves, and so this 4x6 wood is left over from that project when we got done with those, since we've had it stored away in case we needed it. And here we go, we need it. So the plan is to take one of these and saw it in half and then use it for the, I don't know, just runners. They're going to go on the ground, and then we're going to take one of the longer ones and cut it in half. Those will stand straight up and down and bolt to those side-to-side runners. This is the one that's got an extra chunk of wood screwed to it, so we're going to take that one, and it's going to be the cross beam across the top that the actual egg, the laying nesting box will hang on that. And then we've got one more piece over here. I'm going to cut 45s on this and use this for stability, I think is the plan. You know, to keep the ones that go up and down from, you know, sliding back and forth or whatever, kind of a 90-degree support angle bracket looking kind of thing out of this one. So that's what we're about to go build. Plans for this are all in my head right now, so hope it turns out. I measured the nesting box. We need, it's like 6 foot and like a 1/4 inch or something. So I just whipped that out in my head and said 6'2". So we're going to make the place to hang at least 6'2" wide. And then the height and the length of the base all matters on how long half of those other chunks of wood are. So let me get to building it a little bit. I'll show you some steps along the way. So I'll measure and cut a little bit here. We do have a bunch of these dowels that are hanging out at various points in the wood. We'll just take the angle grinder and lop those all off. This one over here has really got a lot. Probably not really worth the time to try to pull these. I guess this one maybe feels loose up there, but probably just mostly lop them all off with the angle grinder and just be done with it. And again, this is for the chickens to hang their nesting box, so we're not building a rocket or cabinetry here. So let me get to work. All right, I kind of thought it was about time for a mid-project update here, since the plans changed a little bit, not too much. So this one is still half of the shorter one that we talked about. So it was 60, and then now these are 30 on each side. I originally talked about doing this cross bracing thing with heavy lumber, but for the bolting it takes and whatnot, didn't seem to make sense. I had this angle iron laying around, and you're probably wondering, how long is this angle iron? Well, this angle iron is half as long as it used to be, because I had a chunk, and I decided to that half of it would work for each side, so that's how long it is. And all I did was, use an angle cutter wheel to just kind of cut part of that angle iron off there. Same thing here. And then drilled a couple holes. These are 3/16" holes, which on their own are not big enough. I'm using a heavy screw. It's got a square, I don't know, it doesn't seem to focus. It's got a square bit end in it. And it's got a heavier shaft than a lot of the screws right here. And that's what counts whenever this is going to have any torque on it. We want that heavier screw shaft there. And I've got it rigged for 2. I'm pre-drilling with a fairly small bit these screw holes, just so that it's pretty thin compared to even the screw itself. And just so that they have a little wiggle, some room to work into instead of trying to split the wood. I don't think it would split, but it's a good thing. Pre-drill those. Down here, when it came time to connect these, I had bolts that were the right length, so I used them. I had 2 of them, and I put a neoprene nut on it, and then I had some extra bolt hanging out here. You either need to grind it off with a grinder. I'm just going to throw a couple extra nuts on there and tighten them up, and that'll help the chickens not put a foot on that and hurt themselves, get some bumblefoot. So this is one side. The other side I've got to put the angle iron on it, but we're getting close to ready. And then I will take the top and put the 6 foot long, 6'2" long piece across there. And then down here, about right above these angle irons, I guess, there's going to be the other one of these. So you'll see it. I'll show you when you get done. But yeah, we'll be done here before long. So stay tuned. All right. This is it. I had planned to do more, but at this point, I do not plan to do more. And I think we're good. So the Hen Gear nesting box has a couple plates that we'll screw onto here, a couple small screws, and then it's actually a plate that comes down and does a J-hook and has a little lip on it that comes up. I'll show you those when we do them. There's kind of 2 of those, one on each side, and then the whole Hen Gear nesting box just sits in there. I was thinking my next move on this was to take and figure out what this distance is between here and there, and then cut another one of these 4x6s and just lay it in here and put the big screws to it. But after I put these giant screws in, let me show you one of these. This is what they look like. This thing got really firm and solid just putting those in there without doing any more bracing, and I honestly don't think we need anything more. It really feels good. So the other thing I can do is, if I need to put that in there, I can measure for it, cut it, then cordless drill and a driver. I can drive, it'll be more of those big screws into that, and I can do that all while I'm out there if I feel like I'm a little unstable in some direction. But right now, this looks good. Feels good. There's almost no instability, wobble, or anything in any direction. So I'm gonna call this good. I'm not gonna wrap this video up yet because I feel like it needs the last piece, and that should be tomorrow, where we haul this over and put it in there and hang the box on it, and we'll probably bring the chickens in there tomorrow. That's kind of the plan. So we're done for today. We'll give you the wrap up tomorrow. All right, it's the next day, and we've got our little contraption brought in here. We set the Hen Gear box off of the tractor, and then we took and unbolted the brackets that the Hen Gear sits on. Then we screwed them onto here. So our next thing is to bring in the nesting box, and we'll hang it on here and see how that goes. I'm seeing our plastic is getting some rub spots, so we're gonna have to do something about that. Maybe protect that a little better. We've also had some insane winds, so it is what it is, kind of, but maybe we got to do a little better. So we'll get our Hen Gear box. We're gonna hang our feeders, and we've got electric water coming. So hang in there. We'll have chickens before long. All right. Well, everybody's getting busy in here. I'm checking out what's new and discovering what they got here. I'm guessing they'll be all over everything, judging by how quickly they got up here and was checking everything out. I'm gonna still get my tools out of here. Got the electric water here, so we'll check that out and see if that keeps from freezing. So far I'm not too impressed. I mean, it's like it's brim full when it's hanging there, so any little thing and it spills, but we'll see how we do. Still got to bring some more food out for the feeder, and I'm probably going to hang a second feeder in here.